Hey guys, I hope you all are doing great. So, welcome to the third episode of the HIT podcast. So, today we got with us someone who is doing his articleship in equity research. You might be thinking, okay, this person is doing articleship in equity research probably in Mumbai or Surat. No, the person who's right in front of you, he is doing his articleship in equity research in Chennai. That's surprising, right? That's surprising and that's stunning to hear, right? So, I've got with me Abhay for the third episode of the HIT podcast, who's currently pursuing his articleship in equity research with Shavas Capital, Chennai. So over to you, Abhay, if you were to give an intro of yourself quickly to the audience.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for giving me this opportunity. So, hi, everyone. I'm Abhay Singh. I'm currently pursuing my articleship in the equity research domain in Shavas Capital. And I have cleared my CA inter around 10 months ago in the May 2025 attempt. And somehow I got this opportunity to work in the articleship domain of equity research. And yeah, it's been a very great journey till now. And yeah, I thought so why not have this opportunity of also explaining to students that how this field is beneficial to them, or if they want to explore what are the possibilities or like opportunities for them. So yeah, I just want to have a conversation with you and help as many students as I can.
Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you so much, likewise, for coming here. So I would just like to start with the first question. Okay, let's say someone is just past CA Inter who's only studied financial management as a subject which has got some sort of link with equity research. How would you explain what you do in equity research to someone who's just past CA Inter? So the floor is all yours.
Okay. So Arvind, before explaining what is equity research, I will give the proper bifurcation between what is sell-side equity research and what is buy-side equity research.
Okay.
Because people usually get like confused between these two terms. So I'll just basically explain what these two sides of equity research basically mean. So sell-side equity research is basically like your investment banks or your brokerage firms. They provide services such as your brokerage firms provide your brokerage service for executing orders, and like they also provide research services to whom your buy side firms. So sell side firms, it can be like your investment banks, as I mentioned, your global investment banks such as JP Morgan, or your domestic investment banks, Kotak, JM Financial, like those. And also the brokerage firms such as Motilal Oswal, Equirus, all these firms comes under the sell side
Right.
because they provide brokerage services as well as your research services to the buy side firms.
Right.
And in buy side firms, the firms which comes under this category is your mutual funds, asset management companies, or like portfolio management services companies, hedge funds. All these type of firms comes under the buy side category. So they utilize the services of sell side firms, which is the brokerage service, in-house research service from the sell side firms, and combine with those research services their own in-house research, and they with the help of those strategies which they accumulate together, they manage a portfolio of their own. So sell side research firms only focus on the research part and the execution part, uh, execution of the orders. But buy side firms, they manage the portfolio, risk management, all these things are taken care of the by the buy side part of the equity research. So these two are the segments, and let's come down to what is equity research exactly. So to put simply as what is equity research, it is nothing but like analyzing the financials of a company and also the competitive advantage, moat, or what is the value chain of the whole business, to understand it in an in-depth manner, and then coming to a conclusion whether this business or this particular company has a particular advantage which is sustainable and it is not easily replicable by others. And by taking into account all these factors, you derive a particular value, like this particular company will have this much value in the future. And if it is listed company, you compare it with the current listed market price, and if it is less than the market price, you take a decision accordingly and invest a particular size of your portfolio in that company. So this is what is done by the buy side equity research firms. Sell side equity research firms, what they do, they also do analyze the business, everything, but they publish the reports. So in the reports, they mention whether you should hold the stock, accumulate the stock, add the stock, or sell the stock. So sell side equity research firms publish the reports and they give the ratings accordingly. So this is the proper bifurcation between sell side and buy side firms and what is equity research.
All right. So to just put it in one line for someone, basically your sell side firm is going to be doing a major chunk of the research, and your buy side firm is going
Yes.
to be deploying that research in their investment decisions. So basically, similar to what people would have studied in CA Interfinancial Management on stock decisions, whether to like buy it or sell it. Like let's say the stock is undervalued, you would end up buying it, and let's say the stock is overvalued, you would end up selling it at that point of time to capitalize the situation to the best extent. So probably this would be the best line, one line summary I feel. About anything you want to add on to this?
Correct, Arvind. Just another add-on is like buy-side equity research firms or like asset management firms also make their own strategies or own in-house research in um, addition to the sell-side research. So that is also an additional part. But
Got it.
yeah, the one-line explanation was yeah, it's the correct explanation.
Perfect. Okay. So the second question, a very, very cliched question. Why equity research when there are so many demands? You have stat audit in front of you, you have internal audit, you have GST, you have income tax, you have your M&A tax, and you also have your transfer pricing. So why equity research specifically, and any story or incident which triggered you or made you to choose this domain?
So Arvind, basically, I will start with the story that why I chose. I have an inclination toward markets. So in the 2020s, in the year 2020, when COVID was there,
Right.
everyone was in the home. So I was just watching the series of Scam 1992, and yeah, like that particular series developed the curiosity in me that what is happening in financial markets. It's such a different field, vast field. Like um, everything is dynamic. Nothing remains same for a single day. The things which are
True.
there in the on a particular day, the next day it changes. So it's like a very dynamic kind of situation. So I
Agree.
was like pretty fascinated by it and I wanted to learn more about it. So after that particular point of time, whenever I was free, I had the curiosity of learning about it. And then what happened after completing my 12th, like I was in my CA journey, I was going through all the subjects in inter. We have the subjects of taxation, audit, everything. But for me, I was pretty much fascinated toward financial markets and financial management and advanced accounts. I was inclined towards those subjects, and I was not pretty much inclined towards taxation and audit. So I thought, why not try to pursue an opportunity in articleship in this particular domain or like in the field where I actually want to work in future, which I actually like a lot. So that's how I began searching about articleship in equity research, and I came across an opportunity. So yeah, like the reason behind why I chose equity research is like I like financial markets a lot, and I want to learn about it because I feel this is such a dynamic field where you have to continuously learn. It's like a never-ending learning process, and it excites me a lot because if I'm facing challenges on a daily basis, it will I will get a lot of information, and it will improve my critical thinking and other skills, which will help me a lot. So
Agreed.
yeah.
Perfect. So next question is like, let's say someone is just past CA Inter and someone wants to probably get into equity research. What are the skills one should develop before the equity research interview, and what are the skills one should develop before he or she enters into equity research's domain for architecture? If you can probably brief on what you had done and what someone can do as a starter.
Okay. So basically, like, if you're joining an articleship, like, let's say in the first year itself, in such a firm, then they won't expect very much from you in the beginning. So since you have just cleared your CA Inter, you should have basic knowledge or like you should have pretty much good hold of the subjects which are related to equity research, such as your financial management, advanced accounts. So the basic AAS, all these AAS and the financial management principles, the formulas, all these things should have a pretty much good hold on it. Okay. And after that, if you have already learned about financial markets or have invested or traded in the markets, then that would be a add-on to your resume, all your skills. So let's say what happens if there are five, six candidates and you have also learned about financial markets in your past. So they will choose you because you have shown that you have shown the curiosity to learn about markets. And so this skill will help you in getting selected. And also what happens like yeah, in culmination with the subjects and in skills, like you should read a lot of newspapers, like get being updated with the current affairs because a lot of things change on a regular basis in markets. So you need to be updated with the current affairs which are going on. So yeah, reading newspapers, being updated with the current affairs, and all these things will help you develop the skills which are required for equity research. And yeah, Excel is like the basic thing which is
Agreed.
required amongst all the domains. So that you should be like pretty much you should have a good hand on it. Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed. I think that is a very, very valid takeaway. I think Excel is probably the first prerequisite that you need to have to enter any domain of articleship,
Yes.
regardless of whether it's equity research or anything. And second thing, as Abhay said, I think probably you can learn about the markets by either taking a good course on Udemy or any platform which you feel suits you basis public reviews, and you can also read and learn about the markets and the current economic situation, because obviously anything that happens in the economy is going to affect the market. Like if US sneezes, it's obviously going to impact India at the end of the day. So I think that's again a very good add-on from Abhay. So last couple of questions, Abhay. So first one would be like, how does a day in your life look like? In the sense, what do you do as an equity research analyst in your day? So if you can just take us through that.
Sure, Arvind. So, like usually my day starts at in the office at around 8 a.m. So, in the morning, as of now, what I do is, so I have been given a basic coverage universe, like the stocks which I have to cover. So I'm trying to learn about those companies. And apart from that, on a daily basis, I just in the morning go through the any research emails which I have got. I just go through those mails, any particular new things which are going on, all the news which has been released in the night. I'll just go through that, or any international new things which are going on. In the morning 1 hour, I go through them completely. Then, if it's a off season, so in the off season, I'll just update the models or like any trackers which I have been given responsibility of updating on a regular basis. I will update those trackers. I will update those models. So all these things I have to do on a regular basis, and then I have to also make sure that I have a relationship with the dealers, suppliers, or the stakeholders or customers of an organization. Have an ears on having ears on the ground to make sure that I am updated with all the information which is going on in the market right now with the particular which is related to a particular company. So making sure that I do all of these things on a regular basis in off season. And during peak season is basically a quarterly earning season. So in those periods, what happens, like, you will be going through all the con calls, not all the con calls, like a particular list of coverage companies will be given to you. So you have to go through con calls of those particular industries or those list of companies, and making sure that you are updated with what the management is saying. And if you feel anything like the management is differing from what they said earlier in the previous con calls, you will mention it to your senior analyst or like your colleagues, and then they will take a decision accordingly. So in the peak season also, you go through these con calls, and then you have to again update the models, or like if your senior analyst or colleagues ask for any particular data, then you have to extract it and give it to them. So all these kind of things you do on a regular basis. And also there is a little bit of compliance. So compliance in the sense, if you're working in an AIF, so AIF has a lot of compliance, right? Because it's a lot of AUM is being managed. So compliance in the sense, you will be on a regular basis required to file the quarterly compliance or a yearly compliance.
Just
So
sorry
since
to
the year
halt you
has just
here.
ended,
Sorry to halt you
yeah,
here. For the benefit of those who don't know what an AAF is, because I believe most of the people would be watching this are CA into students. An AAF is an alternate investment fund. It is basically an organization structure which is approved by SEBI, through which a company manages the funds of various investors. So maybe if you require more detail about what an AAF is and like how is it structured, you can comment down below. Maybe Abhay or me would explain on that. So over to you, Abhay. Sorry for like abruptly
no
interrupting.
worries, sir. Yeah, no worries. So yeah, so basically, like in an AF category, there are different compliance procedures, as I told, which we have to do on a regular basis. So it will be yearly compliance or monthly compliance. So I will be also helping the compliance officer, my senior, in doing those compliances on a regular basis, because it's also a crucial part. Because if you're not doing it on a regular basis, then there may be some issues in the future. So that also needs to be complied properly on a regular basis. So apart from research, this is also a part of my daily work.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was very insightful again. So over to the last question, Away. So there is a lot of CFA buzz in the market. You go to any finance influencer, he or she is saying you should be doing CFA in 2026, or 10 reasons why you should be doing CFA in 2026, etc., etc. So what do you think about CFA as a course? It's an amazing course, no doubt about that, no denial about that. But who do you think should be doing CFA? And let's say someone is in equity research at present, should he or she be doing CFA in the first place, assuming they are pursuing CA
Hmm.
also? Yeah.
Okay. So Arvind, basically, yeah, the CFA buzz is there. I agree. And for if you take my situation also, if I am not pursuing my articleship in this domain, then I would have also gone for CFA, because wouldn't have the knowledge or the base if I'm not doing my internship or articleship in this domain. if you are not having an opportunity, then you should surely go for CFA. If you want to work in the finance or the asset management, portfolio management field in the future, then CFA is a very good choice for you because it will build the base for you and it will also help you get internships, which will help you get a job in the future. But let's say if you are someone who is already working in this field, then it will not be too much value add for you because you will have the knowledge base and you are already getting a lot of exposure. Let's say like on the job experience, like you are getting to learn about a lot of things. So yeah, like there can be two phases, right? If you are someone who needs to shift to some other industry or shift your career to a different field, then CFA can surely help you.
Agreed.
But if you're not willing to shift to some other career field such as asset management, then you shouldn't do CFA because it will not be a very much value add for you. So it depends upon your individual situations.
Okay, perfect. I think we dissected the real picture, and I hope this gives clarity to a lot of people who are in the dilemma as to whether you should be pursuing CFA or not. So, guys, I hope you all found this podcast really insightful, and it gave you a new perspective. I believe it opened up a lot of new perspectives to you. So, I hope you like the podcast. In case you guys have any doubts about equity research, you can feel free to reach out to Abhay. I am just pinning his LinkedIn ID in the comments, and you can also feel free to reach out to me in case you have any questions apart from this also. And if you like the podcast, do comment down below if you want a part two also. We can even do a part two covering even more elaborately on what Abhay does and what are his plans and how he plans to go ahead with stuff, and even more detail about the equity research domain as a whole, and even more detail about AIFs and other stuff. So if at all you want that, do comment that down below and we will be more than happy to do a part two. And last but not the least, thank you so much, Abhay, for making it. I think this is a very insightful session for me and the audience who are looking at it as well. So thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, Urban. And just I wanted to add one thing. So in the skills part, I would recommend students to read as much as possible because in this field, reading is the only thing which will make you learn about a lot of things and keep you updated. So read a lot of books, newspapers, research reports, or there is a website known as Screener. I
Right.
think many of the students would know about it. You can go there and read about companies' con calls, IPs, a lot of things are there. So just read as much as possible, and yeah, like you will get to have an understanding of how things function. So yeah, reading is
Okay.
the most important thing in this field.
Agreed. And I also want to speak about one book. And then this is not any sort of promotion, so a big disclaimer here. So there is a book called "Romancing the Balance Sheet" by Dr. Anil Lamba, who is again a chartered accountant. So I feel if you're someone who's just past CA Inter, I think that book will be a very good start to you to understand about how financial management as a whole works and how the markets also function. It's a very good book to start your journey because I also read the book. It gave me a lot of perspectives. I in fact read the book after qualifying as a CA, but it opened up a lot of doors of vision for me. So I think I would suggest anyone to go ahead and read that book also as a good starter to your journey. So again, yeah. So thank you again. Thank you, Abhay. And I hope you guys found the session insightful. Thank you so much. If you've hung until the end, thank you again, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.